Grab a seat here. So Tina Hare here with Hare and Associates, and awesome human being, just an awesome person. We were at a top producer event in Hawaii, and this was the time I was a young leader with Century 21, and she taught me a few things back then, right? You remember that? We would meet together for lunch, but she took my family with our little ones out to sushi, and just a good human being, and she wanted to show gratitude, and we're just grateful that you trusted us and did this and made your transition to EXP still continue to dominate the way that you and your team are doing, and it's just an honor to have you here, so thank you. So the story I wanted to share, and I don't know how much you want to get into it, but when we went to, it was in Orlando, right? I'm talking about the year before. We're gonna talk about this real quick. So we were in Orlando, and I was with your husband. That's where I got introduced to, what was the favorite drink? Your husband, old fashioned, right?
Yes.
Yep. We had an old fashioned at the bar, and he's like, Bud, this is the first time I'm getting to know your husband. He's like, she's pissed. So I'm gonna start with, she was the number 2 agent in the world.
Vegas, honey.
Was it Vegas?
Yeah.
Before Orlando?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was Vegas.
I thought Vegas is when you made number 1.
Orlando was number 1.
Okay, so Orlando was number 1. So number 2 was in Vegas. She was the number 2 agent in the world for Century 21. And that year, they didn't even put her on the stage. For number 2 agent in the world in terms of production,
First
she
year
had,
with Century 21 too.
right, and it was the first year with them, and you still had an incredible year. But what stood out to me,
Only like $60,000 difference between me and
for number 1 and number 2, she was off by 60K. So do you remember what she did that year, ballpark?
it was like
Production?
2.2 or something.
So about 2.2 million in commissions, and didn't even get acknowledged on stage. And so they only put the number 1 at the time, and she was fired up.
Because I didn't want to go.
I know. So they convinced her to go, they convinced her to show up,
Yes.
but it was a good fire. This is what I'm talking about. She said, and she made that promise, she's like, I'm gonna be the number 1 agent in the world. I'm gonna do it this year.
No, I said, with God as my witness.
Okay, no, you say it. I'm telling you from what I remember being the scared manager there with you. Right.
God is my witness. I'm going to be on that stage.
She did. She made the commitment. I just remember the month of December while we're all in the office looking at the sales and tracking it, and it's literally neck and neck.
Yeah.
You had your record year. Do you remember that year when you first beat her?
It was like 2.7.
But you beat her by a lot.
Yeah,
right?
a lot.
It was,
Like leave no doubt.
it was bad. It was a butt kicking.
Yeah.
She gets the number 1, becomes the number 1 agent the next year. And this is after, was that about 30 years in the business, ballpark? 25 years in the business. But it was just seeing the conviction of somebody who I already respected and appreciated, and then just seeing her commitment. And I'm saying that because you have to have that commitment. You have to have whatever it is, whatever you're focused on, you have to have that commitment and that belief and that determination, like there's no other option. But what was going on through your mind? And that's what I wanted to start with, just in
What was
terms
going
of
on through my mind?
right. When
I won or when I
didn't win, and then
Oh.
what did you change that year? Like what was it that, how did that light the fire and then give you your record breaker year where you broke 2.7 million?
You know, I think it was just more of a, you get to a certain age in your life and like you want to like leave, this was before legacy, right? Before I really understood because I think there's 2 things, being really successful and then getting to a point in your life when you've already really been successful and now you just want to pay it forward and leave a legacy and those types of things. So this was before that. But I think I was just, it wasn't even about the money. It wasn't the money. It was just, I'm gonna do this. Like, I can't be that's what it was. I can't be that close and not win. Like, how could I be? Because it wasn't like the next year where I beat her by like, I don't know, 200,000 or 300,000. It was a lot of money. The year that she beat me, it was like, I don't even think it was 60,000. It was like like 2 transactions, 3 transactions. And it just left me with this like, no way am I losing. Like, I would have been happy. And I'm kind of grateful that I did only lose to her by that much, because if I had lost her by a lot, I might not have like taken it to that level where I said, no, I'm gonna do this, right? And so that's what happened. It just put this fire in my gut. And then I just decided I had to just buckle down. So then I came up with this business plan, and did we go in like October-ish?
Yeah.
Yeah, so for December, I was like, I'm calling everybody. I'm gonna set it up for next year. By January, I'm gonna have 30 deals already on the books. And that's what happened.
Yeah.
And then it just didn't stop. Then you're on like this momentum and you're just like, yeah, it was crazy.
So what adjustments did you make other than the conviction of knowing you were going to do it? Did you make more phone calls? Did you door knock?
Yeah, so I decided that I wasn't, because I was at a point in my career where the business was coming to me. I still did all the things I normally do, but I wasn't like having to aggressively do that. But then I just became like this brand new agent and got out there and just was like, okay, I'm doing this. So then I just went out and went out and went out, and I was relentless. I had to get those numbers. And the thing that was so funny about it is I didn't want to just beat her, I wanted to beat her, you know, like. So
what we hear is you're competitive.
yeah, not so much now because I'm old, but when I was young I was, yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, I'm still competitive, but not like the same.
So what, I guess just when your career started growing, right? When was the jump for you, and what do you think caused that jump? Like before you and your production really took off, what was it that kind of switched that year? Do you know which year was your year where your career really started just kind of
Yeah,
flying?
oh, I know exactly when it was. So go back to the beginning. So when I first got in the business, I was a young mom, didn't have a lot of money, didn't really, you guys are all too young to understand what this is, but books, we had books. We didn't have the internet, we didn't have all that stuff, we had books. And so I was just in the business, didn't have a lot of money, you know, and back then it was newspaper advertising and it was expensive. So I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna get involved in my community. So what I did was I volunteered, plus then I got to be with my kids and I got to do like good things, right? So I did PTA, boosters, Boys and Girls Club, I was on the board for baseball, you name it, I did it. So I spent like 5 years really just building that, learning Moore Park, learning my community, learning all the streets, knowing every neighborhood, what the prices were. You know, I just really saturated Moore Park. And then it was slow, you know, the business started coming, and then I started doing really well. But back then, really well was like 30 deals. I mean, that was pretty good back then. And so then 2000, when did the crash happen? I'm too old to remember. 7? Was it 7? 2007 happened. And the market crashed. And we're all like freaking out, right? Because everybody's like, what the hell do we do now, right? So I thought, okay, I can either just go back to being a mom and ride this out, or I could go figure something else out. So I was at an open house and I had an opportunity from this gentleman who had a hedge fund. He had $40 million, and he didn't need somebody for Ventura County, but he needed somebody for San Diego. And he met me at an open house, and I don't know what it was, but he just took to me. So he asked me for lunch, and I went to lunch with him, and he said, listen, this is gonna sound crazy, but I want you to go to San Diego, and I'm gonna give you $40 million, and I want you to go find me flips. Because the market, you know, at that point now we're doing all these foreclosures. And I'm like, how the hell am I gonna do this? But then I figured it out. I was like, okay, so I went down there, I interviewed a bunch of agents. We had like 12 agents at the time. Brian Troop opened an office for us. We had an office in San Diego right by the ballpark.
Right.
And I ran a $40 million fund for 3 years.
Wow.
And I would be there for 4 days, come home for 3 days, and still sell real estate here. But to the point, what I decided was, at some point, this is gonna turn around, right? At some point, this is all gonna get better again. So I spent every dime I had in marketing and advertising. When no one else was advertising, I was sending every month, I was sending to all of Moore Park, like 8,000 pieces. And I did it consistently every month. And then the market turned, and the rest is history.
Wow, that's awesome.
And it was a combination. I don't want to say it was just that. It was a combination of all the work I had done with the schools and everybody knowing you, and that helped a lot. But that marketing, that changed everything.
Similar to now, where most agents have pulled back from spending money,
I'm spending 3 times money now.
setting yourself up
That's
for the
right.
next
for the next
turn when it does pick up again.
When it picks up again, we'll be
Yeah.
the ones that they call.
Absolutely.
And that's what you have to do. You have to, like, and I don't expect that when you're a brand new agent that you're gonna be able to do that, but I'll tell you what you can do. When you're a brand new agent, you can pick a neighborhood and you can own that neighborhood. And when I say own that neighborhood, I mean go out there, learn everything about the floor plans, learn everything about the prices, learn everything about the neighborhood, all the goods, the bads of it, and own it. And then go door knock, meet people. Like, I'm not saying that what Curtis said isn't like 100%, but that's
Right.
not for everybody.
Right.
It's not for me. I don't do that. I have social media, I have people that do it, whatever. But that's not how I got all my business. I got all my business by being boots on the ground, meeting people, getting to know people, volunteering. Listen, when you're volunteering and helping people, they see you in a whole different light. And I never say I'm a realtor. It comes up, it always comes up in a conversation, but I'm not the one that brings it up. Somebody else will say, hey, what do you do for a living? Oh, I sell real estate.
Right.
And I downplay it. I don't upplay it, I downplay it. And then people get to know you because now they're working alongside of you and they know you in a different way. So when they go to sell their house, they're like, oh, I'm calling Tina.
Right.
Because she was the one that was laying sod with me. You know, like, and I know that sounds crazy, but people see you in a different light. And if you're going after the younger kids, probably not. You probably need to do the the type of internet marketing. But if you're, you know, if you're looking at, like, my clients are all, not all, I have young clients too, but a lot of them are my age, and so they're not into that stuff,
Right.
right? And so there's lots of those clients out there, and they do like it when you knock on their door and say, hey, I'm Tina, I'd like to get to talk to you about real estate, if you have a minute. Whenever you door knock, please, 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 the first thing you say is this a good time? Hi, I'm Tina, I sell real estate, just want to see if this is a good time to have a talk. Because remember, you're invading their space, so you need to be polite and you need to be respectful. And if they say no, say maybe I can catch you next time. And they're not gonna forget you when you do that. But if they open the door and the first thing you say is, hey, I'm Tina and I'm selling real estate, they're gonna be like, what the hell? So just always remember that. Just ask permission to be able to speak to them, because then people realize, oh, they're being respectful, right? I don't know, I think it's important. I think getting involved in the community, but I'm digressing. So let's go back. So find a neighborhood, own it. See what you can do to bring value. Like one time there was an earthquake, this was years ago. So I made an earthquake preparedness list and I door knocked it to everybody. And I got so many phone calls from people like, that was so sweet, thank you so much. I agree with him about don't let people know about real estate, but you can do that by door knocking. You don't have to door knock and say, you know, to somebody about real estate. You can say a few seconds, just thought I'd let you know the comps in the neighborhood or just whatever. But then you take it to the next level by saying, you know, just get to know them. Like, tell me your story. People like to talk about themselves and they like to tell you their story. Other thing, when you go in on a listing appointment, don't go in talking about yourself right out the gate, talking about what you do, talking about who you are. Do not do that. Go in, ask them to tell you their story. People love it when you ask them to tell you their story because they want to tell you about them. And when they do, learn from it. Because guess what? You're going to know who's in control, the husband or the wife. You're going to know how bad they really want to sell the house, right? And what their motivation is. And you're going to learn so many valuable things. Are they texter? Do they like to talk on the phone? You're going to know all that when they tell you their stories. And that makes you a better realtor.
That's perfect. So I also have a couple other very special people here too. I want to introduce. So we have Nate Binkle and Nate and Tina. They go way back as well, back to the troop days. And Nate was always an up and coming top agent. Great man, has a great story. So I would like for him to share a little bit of that story, just of what you're doing and how that's coming to you now. And then also have Jen Walksmith here. Jen is a very special person to us as just friends, as a part of the original crew. Like Kim's got a great story about, if you think of Jerry Maguire and they leave and, you know, the goldfish scene. So who's coming with me, right? Jen was the one coming with us. No, she didn't ask any questions about EXP. Afterwards, she's like, what did I just do right now? You know? But it was her faith, our friendship, what we've done together in the short period of time that we've worked together. And she's just another phenomenal human being. So thank you three for just coming here, spending your time waiting as long as you waited. Just thank you guys. It's been an exceptional event, not just saying it, but It's because of the special people like the three of you, willing to share, willing to open up at a time that people are looking for wisdom. They're looking for hope. So just wanted to share that real quick. So if you don't mind, Nate, do you mind sharing just a little bit of your story and kind of what's, start how you like, man, but just, Nate's been a friend. He actually mentored my wife, Danielle Ramey, and it was one of the conditions I made before coming over to, which was Troop Real Estate at the time, was I would only come over if Nate mentored her. And Nate was like, I got too many people on my plate right now, right? And then he met Danielle and he was, all right, I'll help her out. So he helped her out, helped make her the rising star pretty quickly. She did well. She loves teaching. She just started teaching. But already out the gate, Nate was just a good dude. And appreciate you, and we've known each other through sports. So just, do you mind sharing a little bit of your story as much as you feel comfortable?
Yeah, well, it goes back to Troop Real Estate. I got to work with Tina here, and she's everything that Brandon and everybody said. I mean, she's been a huge inspiration to me, with Alex Gandell, Brian Troop, a lot of guys that we could go back to our Troop days. But how I got started is I started a fitness company back when I was 19, and I sold it when I was 25 to Wilson Sports. And at that time, I didn't really know where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do, but Brian Troop was a member of the gym that I was partners of in Moore Park. That was also a movie theater. And I ran into Brian and started chatting, and then he kind of told me what he did and who he was and all of that. And I kind of shopped around to see if I really wanted to jump into real estate. And then Brian was going to his parents' 50th wedding anniversary on the way to Maui, and I called him. And he answered the phone, and I just thought, man, I'm just such a small little guy, and this guy's answering my calls. We started talking, fast forwarding. He said, go ahead and just reach out to one of my managers. They'll get you linked up, and we'll get the ball rolling. Well, I lived in Ojai at the time, and there was no True Real Estate in Ojai. Coldwell Banker Property Shop was the big boys in town, and they owned the market share. And pretty much it was you had to join there if you wanted to sell real estate in Ojai. And me being competitive, like Tina, I kind of wanted to go against that. So Brian said, if I open you an office in Ojai, would you be able to recruit five agents that would want to come under you? And I said, absolutely. I know a few that want to come on right away. Brian opened the office. That was my first year. I was 26 years old. And I remember when I joined, he said, I would love for you to make it to Hawaii on our top producers trip. It's something that's really neat, as we've got to experience that. And I just said, well, what's the production you have to get to do that? He said President's Club, I think at that time was 195. And if you did 250 or 295, you got President's Elite. And I remember I looked at Brian and I said, I'm doing President's Elite. And he looked at me like, okay.
Yeah.
Right? Nice. And he said, I believe in you. If you want to do President's Elite, let's set your goal. And I said, I want to do 350,000 my first year in GCCs. All right, let's do it. Fast forwarding, that was my first year. I did close to 400,000. And then the second year with Troop Real Estate is when I really took off, because I had the leadership of like Tina and Alex and a lot of these seasoned professionals that I just looked up to. And I just felt I wasn't really competition because I was in Ojai. So I would ask, Ray Da Silva, ask all these agents kind of what they're doing, and I just kind of copied their secrets and went to Ojai. And really what the secret was, just work your ass off. Like, that's what it comes down to, is like open houses on Sundays when people are going to the beach and they're waving at you and you're out there doing it. But what I can say is in that second year that I really did give it my all and winning 100%, that was the year I was the #1 agent for Troop Real Estate, and combined with the CFC mortgage and commissions, I made over $1.6 million as a single agent at 27 years old.
So, I appreciate you sharing the backstory. What has been very moving is just recently. If you're open to it. Okay. So, if anybody's known Nate for some time, Nate's been let's just say a pretty confident young man, right? Very knew what he wanted, and he had that swagger, had that walk, and still does. But there's been a whole new side of him that I've heard other agents just saying, like, wow, like, what happened? Like, what's gone on? I said, you know what, let Nate share that story. So Nate, if you don't mind sharing just a little bit of that.
Yeah. When I came out, I mean, obviously I was young and I was a middle linebacker, played sports and other stuff. So was the ego there? Yes, it was very big, and I regretted some of the stuff. But fast forwarding, I've been through a lot. I lost a brother when I was 16 years old to a heroin overdose. I had to identify his body because my parents were gone. I was at the Route 91 Las Vegas shooting, front and center of Jason Aldean. I saved 14 people, watched one of the persons that we were with get shot and killed. So I've gone through a lot in the last probably 10 years, divorce, so on and so forth. And it kind of strips away everything that, the money, the materialistic stuff and everything. And in New Year's of this year, I just switched up my life. I just completely cut out certain things that I felt weren't good for me. And one of them that I did bring into my life, hope nobody gets offended, but I turned to God because I didn't really believe in God up until New Year's of this last year. Having gone through so many things in my life, I just kind of ran solo. So I turned to God on New Year's and said, I'll go all in because it's time for me to make a comeback, and I want to make this like the best comeback I've ever could make. And I want to be the best version I could be. And I said I want to be the best version for my daughters first, and then for myself, my parents, and then obviously the people that I'm around, my associates, my partners, my clients. So I did that January 5th of this year, and I went all in. And in 3 months of going all in, my business drastically changed because I think the positive energy I was putting off, and I think just my mindset, there was no more negative. Everything was a windshield. Look out the windshield, don't look in the rearview mirror of what you've gone through. And my brother came to me for the first time in it's been a while, 30 years. And pretty much just said he was proud of me and that the man I've turned into is just what I've always should have been, and just stay the course. So with that, I just kind of have stayed the course, and now, I mean, my business is doing really well, and I just think that's because obviously the circle I'm around, I think it's around obviously putting out there the positive energy and then just working my ass off again. I'm back to doing open houses every weekend. I'm doing the basic stuff of what we did when we were younger, implementing the AI stuff. And really, I think for me, with Agents Say a Difference is that I want to be a deal maker. I'm not trying to have that ego where it's like, you're negotiating a deal and you're kind of having that flex, because I think our business has a lot of that, and I think we got to just work together. So I've really honed my skills as far as I think that side of it, and just working with people on all aspects. And like Tina said, I've been doing a lot of charity work, undocumented, no photos, nobody really even knows, but I'm just doing it. And I have a men's group that I started in Ventura with 20 other fathers that have had some troubles and some tribulations, and out of 20 of them, 10 of them stopped drinking alcohol. They've all following God now, and they meet me every morning at 4:30 at the gym to work out. So
That's amazing.
I think the journey is pretty good.
Thank you. Nate, thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
Jen, just wanted to ask you real quick. So Jen, a lot of those of us that know you have a great, just your positivity, the way you approach people, the way you're always offering to help, and the ones that know that you won't stop until you figure out an answer, right? Or you get the answer and the answer that you want, right? But you'll keep pushing, and you're persistent, and you'll do it. But a lot of people think that it comes easy to you. Do you mind sharing? You've been in the business now 10 years. How did you start out? What were some of the challenges you faced early on? Do you mind sharing a little bit of that with the group?
Sure. So yeah, this was a second career for me. At 41 years old, I started, and it was something that I really wanted to get into for most of my life. But it was right out of high school, went to college, became a court reporter for over 10 years, and I really didn't like it, and I became disabled. I had a lot of pain, major migraines, neck pain, and I couldn't work, and we couldn't figure out what was wrong with me for, like over 15 years or so. Horrible pain. And doctors told me, oh, you're depressed, things like that, like you probably need some antidepressants. It was like, no, I'm in horrible pain. Anyway, they finally figured it out after being disabled for 7 years, and I had thoracic outlet syndrome. I was born with cervical ribs. It's like this weird thing. So anyway, it was causing horrific pain. And I went in 2014 after they finally figured it out. They did surgery, removed the bones on one side, and it just freed up my mind. I could think again. I could sleep again. I could get back to work again. And so within 6 months of that, I started pursuing my license. And I actually had already taken the courses when I was disabled, before I knew what was going on, but I was in so much pain I just couldn't work. There was no way. And I had 4 kids at home too. And that was a whole nother challenge. And so anyway, I started working, and I love this career so much. I'm so grateful that at that point in my life, I could get into something that I really loved. And also went through some more difficulties in the first year or two. Went through divorce, went on my own with my 4 kids and with no help, and just that I don't have a choice to fail. I was only in this business for a year and a half, and I said, I gotta take care of myself and I gotta be able to do all of this. And so I worked my butt off really hard and just knew I couldn't fail. And so like Brandon said, I always know, like, if I don't know the answer, if somebody else can figure it out, I can figure it out. And I will find the answer. It's like I'll go, and if a client asks me something and I don't know the answer, because especially in the beginning, you don't know. It's like, you know what? I'm not 100% certain, but I know I can find out. And it's just always being confident that you can get the answers and you can give that service to your clients, because they don't know where to go. And so I just kind of wanted to share that, everybody has their story of what they've been through, and everybody has something that's been difficult, but it's like, you can do something that you love if you truly love it and you put everything into it, even when you've had a past career that was supposedly, so much better and so much, could produce so much more income. If you love it, you put your heart and your soul into it, you will make it. So.
No, that was perfect. Thank you for sharing that. We also have Miss Debbie Gates over here.
This is not easy for me because I don't like cameras and pictures and talking in public, believe it or not. But I'll just tell you that ChatGPT is my best friend. It settles every argument in my house. I'm always talking to it. Mine's like, who are you talking to? It's Chat Smith, actually. But I do love it. And, I've had trials as well. Route 91, a perforated colon. I've had stage 4 cancer for 6.5 years. And not one day have I not gotten up and said, put those big girl panties on, we're going out there. I love what I do. You just believe in yourself and get out of your own way and help the next person. Because it's all about, you can't have fear if you're giving. It's not only gratitude, but it's giving. So when I have a bad day, it's like, who can I help? Who can I talk to? I'm scared to death door knocking. Never FISBO'd, but I love open houses. You'll find me at open houses 4 times on a weekend because I love it. I love to meet people. Lately, not so much, not so many people at the opens, but it's a great time to do busy work. So to me, I'll never stop doing open houses because to me, it's like people come to you. You're not spending money going to people. They're coming to you, and they're not there just to look at the different attributes of the house. They're there for a reason. No one wants to waste their time just shopping at open houses when it's 92 degrees. So I just feel you got to work from your heart. You work from your heart, everything else comes. I can't tell you my numbers. I can't tell you how much money I make. I've never picked up a paycheck in my life. My husband would kill me because I lost one paycheck because I picked it up. So I don't pick up paychecks. And I think when you try to follow numbers, you're in the wrong business. Go be an accountant. You gotta be in something that you love and you're serving people, the business will come to you.
What would you add to that, or just in terms of what Debbie shared in the stories? Because I know the same thing. A lot of people think that you just, were you just woke up and you were a top producing agent,
Yeah.
selling all the homes, right?
No,
It just happened overnight. But
yeah, no.
what was some of it, just in terms of challenges early on, and when you knew that switch just kind of flipped?
You know, challenges, I guess I never looked at it that way. I just, like you, I loved it. I loved what I did. I found something that really made me happy, and I like helping people. And so I don't really ever look at it like as a challenge. I mean, there were ups and downs, bad times, good times, but like what happened in 2007. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna be selling real estate in Moore Park, so might as well go do something else. And then I learned a whole new market, and now I have so much to bring to my clients from a standpoint of I can walk into a house and tell you how much it's gonna cost to renovate it, because I did it over and over and over again, because I wasn't just in charge of buying the houses at the courthouse, renovating, hiring people to renovate. I'm the one that had to make the decisions on what we did, how much we spent. So, that knowledge was invaluable. I mean, it was worth way more than the commissions I made off of it. And now, like when I, talk to clients, they're like, oh, you walk in a house and they're like, oh, it's going to cost me $500,000. I'm like, no, actually, it's going to cost you $125,000. And then, you start rattling off all the 10 for this, 5 for this, and they look at you like, but they trust you because they know you're coming from a place of knowledge, right? That's the other thing that you guys will probably all agree. Do not walk into a listing like, well, I think your house is worth about this, or you walk in with confidence.
I'm not leaving without it.
Yes. But you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many times you hear agents go, well, I think the house is worth. No, you don't ever say that. If a doctor said to you, well, I think you have cancer, but, yeah, I think you have cancer. Would you hire that doctor? No. So that's the same thing with real estate. It's different, but it's the same, because they're calling you because they believe that you're the expert. So be the expert. Go in with confidence. Know your comps. And here's the thing, it's way easier when we offer, well, not Jen, but you probably either. But when Debbie and I started, we had books. We didn't have all this stuff. And so we could, I don't want to say this sounds terrible, but we could fudge it a little bit because they didn't know. But now they have the internet, right? So they know. And sometimes they know more than you. So you better make sure that if you go into a listing appointment, they better not know more than you do, because you're done. That's when she takes over and gets your listing.
Right.
Because she's gonna know more than everybody. And that's the difference. So if you go into a listing appointment, be confident. Make them say, wow, that's the person I wanna hire. I don't care if they've only sold 10 homes. Look at how confident they are. Don't worry about your numbers. Debbie's so right about that. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I tell people that work for me, I don't wanna hear about the commissions until the money's in the bank. Because at the end of the day, if you make it about that, you're not making it about the client. I've had agents call me and tell me, this deal has to close because I have to pay my mortgage. And I say, then you have a bigger problem than selling this real estate. Because it's not about the money, it's about the client, it's about getting them the house that they want, it's about closing the deal. It's about helping that divorced couple move on. There's so many other things in life. We have the privilege of doing one of the most important things that people do in their life. They get married, they have kids, they buy a house, right? And we get to help with one of those things. So take it with that kind of seriousness, right? This is something important to them. And so there's so many agents that are so flippant about it, and they don't take it with that sense of responsibility that we should all take it with, right? And that's important. And if you take it that way, people will see that and they will want you to be their agent.
Absolutely. Oh, that was great.
I have one thing to add too. So my daughter just graduated in San Diego State, and she just got a real estate license. And I told her, as a new agent, it's the best time to be in the business because she's got to work hard. She's got to know her business. She's got to get out there, because it's easy to walk in 2021 and just do nothing. But in 2025, you're gonna beat yourself. You gotta get up. And there's no secrets in this business. It's hard work. It's 24/7, 7 days a week. I don't care who tells you it's not, it is. And when I tell people it's not a part-time job, because part-time, you gotta know you're working 20%. I don't know about you guys, but I get up every morning, I'm answering my phone at 6 in the morning, I'm clicking it off at 10 o'clock at night. sometimes even later than that. So, and I told her she can be the #1 agent in San Diego. Just pick a farm, pick an area, know it, and no one knows any different. So, yeah, Paige Gates, #1 in San Diego next year.
You mentioned, we had a conversation probably about a month ago, and I was asking you for advice. Just ask a question on here. No, it's okay. I was asking Tina for advice. I had a listing. It was taking a while to sell. Can anybody relate to that? That's why you're here. But you gave me some great advice. What would you say to sellers right now? Just based on what you've seen in the past, in terms of with pricing proper, just setting proper expectations in this market. That's some of what I'm hoping to hear from you all. Do you mind sharing some of that?
No, I mean, we all know right now it sucks, right? I mean, if you're not pricing your house right and aggressive, then it's gonna sit. So you have to tell your client, listen, here's the price that it's gonna be at to sell. If you wanna sell your house in the next 30 days, here's the price that you have to be at. If you don't care that it sits for 6 months, and you want to chase the market down, and that's exactly how I say it, then this is what you can price it at. But I look at the market now, and if something's sold for, say, 1.5, I'm telling the client, expect that you're not getting 1.5, expect that you're probably getting 1.450. And price it that way. Don't price it at 1.5 and then wait till it goes down again and chase it down. Price it below where the last comp is, because that's the market we're in. We're not in a market where we're pricing it over what the last sale is. And anybody who thinks that probably shouldn't be selling real estate right now. We're in a market where you're pricing it below what the last sale was.
But you're leading. You're having the tough conversations.
You have to. You have to have those tough conversations. I have them before I take the listing. I'm not having that conversation with somebody. We just turned down 3 listings because some agent in Moorpark has decided that she can get $2.3 million for a house that's not worth more than 1.9. Great, you take it. Because they're gonna call me when you don't sell it, and then I sell it for 1.8.
Right. Yep.
I'm good with that. You can't be afraid to walk away. That's the thing, you can't be afraid to walk away. If you walk into a listing appointment and they're telling you that they're not gonna take their house, they're not gonna sell their house for less than $2 million and you know it's worth 1.8, why are you gonna spend the money taking that listing? Let somebody else take it, disappoint them, and then come back, because we tell our clients, you may not like what we say, but we're telling you the truth. And you're either gonna hear it from us now, or you're gonna hear it from us when you call us back to come in because somebody else told you the wrong number. But guys, you have to say it with confidence, because if you don't, they're never gonna believe you. Right?
That's great. Anything you want to add to that?
Well, if they do price it, which sometimes I do allow my clients to price their own house, but I give them 2 weeks. And I say, okay, write it down, because in 2 weeks, we're pricing, and if it doesn't sell at my number.
Right.
But right now, you can price it at your number, but not in 2 weeks. Because in 2 weeks, you know if it's gonna sell or not sell.
Right.
I mean, I don't know who
It's
said.
just time to prove to them they're wrong.
Yeah, because I don't like to walk out of a listing without a listing. So
Yeah.
I'll take it, but I'll tell them 2 weeks.
So any questions that you have for any of our panelists here, that you all wrote questions on, right? Good. Any questions?
Yes, I actually have a question. So, with Tina, so what, for a starting agent, because there's several of them here, for beginner agents, what would you tell them to do as far as marketing, and then as far as networking? Where do they go if they're brand new, they don't know anybody? How do I market my homes, or market myself, and then networking? How do I meet other?
So I think the best way to do it, and I'll use Cassie as an example. She's a great example. So Cassie came onto our team, and I was very grateful because I love her and I think she's great. I'll tell you 3 different things that happened with Cassie. So when I first met Cassie, I said, Cassie, we're gonna door knock. And she's like, what? No, I don't think I can do that. And I'm like, yeah, you can, and you're going to. So, but I said, I'll go with you the first time. So I went out with her the first time and door knocked with her. And, it was good, but we didn't get any prospects. And I said, okay, now you get to go. So she goes and door knocks on this one house. And it was this little old man, and he was probably 80, but I'll know Cassie, she's beautiful. And so she talked to him, and he was gonna sell his house. So he's like, yeah, you can come. you know, you can come give me a listing appointment. So she calls me and she's freaked out. This is like a $2 million house, right? And so she's like, I have to go on this listing appointment. I go, I'll go with you. So I go with her, and instantly I know she's getting that listing because he's kind of got a crush on her, right? Totally has a crush on her. I'm sitting there, the professional, the one that sold all the real estate, right? And I'm not saying that from a boastful standpoint, just this is funny. She's sitting here, the wife is looking at me, asking me all the questions. All he's doing is staring at Cassie. It was the best ever. We walked out of there and she goes, well, how do you think we did? And I go, yeah, you nailed it. Not for the right reason, but you nailed it. And so she gets a listing, bless her heart, she works it. Neighbor across the street comes over and says, hey, I want to buy it. No, by the way, can you represent me? First deal she does under Harris Associates was $4 million. And so now she thinks door knocking is the best thing ever. So that's story number one. Story number two was, I said, Cassie, you've got to get involved in the community. And she's like, well, I don't know how to do that. And I said, of course you do. I said, do you have kids in school? She's like, yeah. I go, get involved in the school. She goes, well, there's this woman there. She's a realtor and she's been there forever and she doesn't let anybody else in. And I'm like, get in. Figure it out. So I told her, I said, just start going to meetings, making suggestions. We do this for all the schools in Moore Park. We do, for teacher appreciation, we do a snack bar. It costs us like $150. But we put it all out in the teacher's lounge and they can go pick whatever candies and treats they want. And they love it, right? Make little bags, tell them how much we appreciate them. So I said, well, we're gonna do that for your school. She's like, okay. So we did it for her school. She just kept going to the meetings. She called me, it was a couple months ago. She goes, the lady left. And I go, she left? And she goes, yeah, she just decided she didn't want to be on the board anymore. And I go, what did you do? And she goes, I ran for her seat. And she got the seat. And so now she's the only one that's the realtor in. And we're doing all these things for the school. Then the third thing she did was her son plays baseball. And she's very passionate about baseball. I said, get on the board. She's like, well, how am I going to do that? Go start volunteering and talking to people. She got on the board. Well, first she said, I'll help with your opening day event. So we did a bunch of Heron Associates things. I told her all the things to do because I did it for years. That was the most successful opening season that baseball league had had, and they asked her to be on the board, and now she's on the board. Doesn't take the knowledge of real estate. It takes being involved. I agree with Curtis on the fact that let them know who you are. It's not about how many houses you've sold. It's about who you are as a person, exactly like what Debbie's saying. But in that way, now she's the person that they all go to. Cassie, what do we do? How do we do this or how do we do that? And should we do this for the baseball? And so now she's like the expert, and now they all know that she sells real estate because then she gently put in there, oh, I think my partners will, sponsor. So now everybody, we did these little black eye things that said Heron Associates or whatever it was, but that's how she gently got in there. So that's what you have to do. You don't have to spend money, you have to spend time, right? And if you're not selling real estate, right, you could take that time and go volunteer. Go volunteer at a school. You don't have to be a part of the school. They may have to do a background check because that's kind of what they do now. But you can go volunteer at any school and help a teacher, help a school.
What about like Chamber of Commerce's, Real Estate Connection Group, stuff like that? What are your thoughts on this?
I'm not a big fan of those because I think it's just a bunch of people that don't have any business that are all standing around helping each other or, sorry, that's just not one of my things. I'll tell you how, well, the one thing you'll get from me is always how I feel. I've never been successful at that. Now, where I will go is Boys and Girls Club. I was on the board for the Boys and Girls Club for 20 years. And I loved every minute of it. So those types of things, like if you're helping out at organizations, church, I volunteer at my church all the time. Those are the types of things that I feel good about, that I give back to, but that people see you in a different light.
So
you want them to see
things that you are already kind of attracted to or drawn to.
Yeah, you can volunteer. Listen, volunteering at Senior Citizen Place, because guess what? Their daughters and sons all come in to visit them and they see you and they're volunteering and guess what? They might have to sell mom and dad's house someday, right?
Yeah, the States.
Yes,
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of things. I mean, you just have to be able to find what you're passionate about. And I'm not talking from a real estate standpoint. In life, find what you're passionate about, whether it's your church or your kids or whatever it is. And go volunteer to that, and then you'll see it come. Now, it's not gonna happen overnight. It takes time. But it works.
Yeah.
I mean, I dominate Moore Park. I sell I have probably 23-24% market share in Moore That's crazy. Like, forget all the other numbers, like you're saying. I don't care about how many millions I sold. But I have 23% market share in a town. Who's gonna be able to say that? Not many. And I'm not saying that again, guys, from a boastful standpoint. I'm telling you, I had a high school education. I was a mom. I didn't like all of a sudden, I didn't go to this big real estate, college and learn business and all that stuff. I just worked hard. I was passionate. I did, as I got older, so when you start making money, here's a rule. When you start making money, you need to put it back in. Because if you don't, it will dry up. I put a third back into my business every year. Because that's how my business grows. If I don't put money into my business, if you had a restaurant and your chairs were falling apart and your tables were falling apart and you said, I'm not gonna put money into my business, how long do you think that business is gonna last?
Where do you strategize your money at when you're reinvesting it?
We look at the end of the year and what paid us, and then we double down on that.
Whether it's marketing or
Door knocking, marketing, flyers, we do EDDMs, we send out 8,000 pieces every month. And that does pay us.
What's EDD?
Everyday direct mail marketing. Now, you don't have to do it to the whole city. Like, if you find a neighborhood that you want to go after, you can do an EDDM, which is everyday direct mail marketing, for way less than you can regularly mail it. So we have all of Moore Park, but I didn't start with all of Moore Park. We started slow and then we built up. But that's a great way to do it, because then you can target to where just you want to, and it's cheaper.
Then they've seen your face constantly.
It's layered. We're at every event, right? The city house, we're there. We're at every event. Our signs are everywhere. Our flyers are there at their house at least once a month, sometimes twice a month. Think about it. Now I have this is the best. So we have a building on the corner of High and Spring. It's right on the corner. Cost me $1,500 a month. Do you know how many people see that sign? 43,000 people a day. That's how many cars go back and forth in Moore Park.
Wow.
And there's a stop sign right there, and guess what they do? They look to the right, and there. So even if they don't know me, they think they know me. So find those kinds of things that are like, and you never know where that business is gonna come from. Like, I've had teachers 10 years later, when they go to sell their house, they're like, oh, we've just been waiting to sell our house because you've been so generous and you've done so much for the schools, and we were just waiting because we knew we were gonna hire you. Like that kind of stuff. It's just consistency. But I think everyone here will say the same thing. You have to work harder than the next guy. Way harder. Not a little bit, way harder.
Absolutely. Now, I wanted to ask,
Jen,
go ahead.
So I wanted to ask Debbie. Debbie has been, how long have you been doing real estate?
2004.
When did you start doing internet?
2004.
I know for a fact that Debbie was in the forefront of internet. There was a small group of us that were conquering on the internet. How much of that business do you still do on the internet?
A ton.
A ton. And can you share some of that?
Well, so I'm a big internet girl. I've been since day one. So when I got in the business, believe it or not, they still had, the MLS was still in paper form. So people, when I started, because now I'm old, people were afraid of the internet. Where I was like, let's embrace this. What are we doing? Let's get on there. So people know me that don't know me. Like, just like I told my daughter that's just starting, Paige Gates, get out there, get your name. Like, nobody knows me as Debbie. It's Debbie Gates. Like, there isn't anyone that can say my name without saying my last name, because I branded it like constantly, Debbie Gates. I never introduced myself as Debbie. I introduced myself as Debbie Gates because I knew that's how my internet is marketing. So you gotta take the internet and ChatGPT. It's the best thing. When I'm at a listing appointment, I literally am going around when they're showing me the house, and I'm telling Chat Smith everything, all the descriptions in the house. And before I leave, I've already hit the description. They already have been wowed by my what the house says, and it took me 2 seconds, and they're already wowed. So it's an amazing tool, even in a listing presentation, to have that. And it's the internet, because I'm the generation that's started either. So I think that's important.
I think the lesson is you find what works for you and you go for it.
Yes, and the big thing that has worked for me too, is get peers that stand next to you, beside you, with you, for you. In my situation, it's my sister-in-law Brooke and Karen Toddy. Karen Toddy was out of Camarillo, Brooke was in my town. And we talk 15 to 20 times a day. We strategize 15 to 20 times a day. We go over every one of our deals before the other agent ever knows about the deal. And what you learn is not everyone's gonna like me. So guess what? Brooke's a different person, Karen's a different person. So if I know I'm not gonna get that listing, I'm gonna throw Brooke in there. Because I know Brooks has different attributes than me, so does Karen. So it's important, and also too, this business, call me a bulldog, I hate it, people do call me that, is you gotta know your strengths. And your strengths, you will be a bulldog in your strength, whatever that strength is. And it's different, but if you've got two people on the side of you, and I say two because that's what I have, you're getting your frustrations out in a deal with them and not with the other agent. And it's important because you gotta, other agents are who are gonna make you successful because your client's gonna come and go, but it's the agents that you surround yourself with that are gonna be on the next deal. There's one agent in particular who I don't particularly like, and there's only one, and I see his name on a deal and I wish the file can right there, says, please get me 2 deals. Get me 2 offers. And that's what you don't want. You want the other agents, they're gonna feed you. So you wanna go above and beyond to always do the right thing because you're gonna see that name on another offer.
Right.
Thank you. You know, it's important to communicate. You guys have to communicate
I
that.
wanted to ask Jen, so Jen's production went from about 150,000 when we first met to about 400,000 in the next year. What were some of the things that, I mean, what happened? How did that growth happen? What are, even recently, like you got some great momentum going, like how are those deals coming together for you, if you don't mind sharing?
Well, the first thing I can say that really helped me tremendously was you and Ken. I was actually partners with Cassie back when we were at another brokerage for several years, and we were both just kind of at the same level for so many years. We couldn't figure out like how do we get past this? Like we were just kind of stuck. And so that's when I met you, Brandon, and I went over and joined them, and just the leadership that you guys have given me over the years. So, I mean, the first year, only 6 months there at the company, and it was more than triple my income that year, which was huge to me. So that's why I grabbed the goldfish and I was with them. I've learned that, you know, whatever I put in is what I'm going to get out. I know that. I had a surgery back at the beginning of the year again and was down for a while, and I came back and I'm like, oh shoot, I felt it. It was like just crickets practically. And so I just cranked and I was here every day, and now all of a sudden I'm like running, trying to keep up, you know? So it's like, it's what you put in, you'll get back, 100%. And just going around doing what they've said, and Nate said, just, you know, talking to people, helping people, you know, just everything, every little bit you put in, you're gonna get back.
So are you typically calling people, meeting them at open houses, because I know you do a good amount of listings, you do a lot of staging. This gal does more prep work than I've seen a lot of people do. I'm sure to the, you know, similar levels that you all, actually all 4 of you do a lot of prep work. They don't just take a listing and say, oh yeah, just put it on as it is and we'll try to sell it for a little bit lower. They take a lot of pride and do that. And I know you're very resourceful and you have a whole crew that does so much before you list anything. You mind just sharing a little bit of that and how that's working for you in terms of the referrals in the business?
Mm-hmm. It's working really good, except for my back's not working so good today after yesterday's staging. I have a landscaper that I've been working with for almost 10 years, an amazing handyman. I just have all the different people, electrician, everybody that I trust, that I've really, over the years, felt like I gotta keep these people on my team, and I'm constantly referring my clients to them. But then also when I get a new listing as part of what I do, and I know it's like I'm not charging extra for it, but it's just something that I know they appreciate so much, and it brings it back to me, is I hire my window washer, If I need to bring in a cleaning crew, I do. If I need to, I mean, this one I'm listing right now in Wildwood, it was all dirt. The family's going through a hard time and it's dirt front and back, and I brought my landscapers in and they did the, you know, just something basic, but they did the whole front and the backyard. The window washers came in, the cleaning crew came in, and then I was there with Gobi helping me yesterday all day, staging it, you know, and now it's going on the market today. But I did that again 2 days ago with another one in Simi, and everybody's saying the market's so bad. I'm like, it's only been on the market for a little over 24 hours and I already have one full price offer and several more showings scheduled. So I think that those things that we do, that we put ourselves out there to do for our clients, I think it really makes a huge difference.
Staging is crucial.
It's huge.
Staging changed my business.
And
I do staging as well, and 3 storage units and 20-year-old college kids football team.
I gotta take that too.
Yeah.
One for college is right there.
Or you can cut it deal with movers. Our movers charge us, like,
Yeah.
to do 4 hours, we pay them like $250.
Wow.
So, because they get a ton of business from us, and so, and like, staging is crucial. And it's just, even if it's not staging, like bringing things in, it's staging, taking things out. You all
It's
know.
more taking out than taking in.
Well, we
It is
bring
a
in
lot.
whole houses in, so, I mean, that's just
Yeah.
where we've evolved to, but I didn't start there, but that's now where we are at. Like, we just staged one and they left. I said, go, take yours, because their house was awful. And I said, go, it's their stuff that was awful. I said,
You know, why don't you guys just go, you know, put your stuff in a storage unit, you go out there, go down there, because he was already working in
Take your
Orange
shit and
County.
leave.
exactly. I said that. And he's like, oh, that's a great idea. Lori came in and we staged the whole house top to bottom, and that house will be gone this weekend. But that's the difference, right? And then they go tell their friends, oh, you know, Hair Associates, they stage your house for you. Like, it's crazy, and they don't even charge you. Well, yeah, we do, we charge an extra 0.5%, but, right?
Yeah.
And ChatGPT does stage your pictures.
There you go.
So the ones that don't want people in there, you just minus and put it in, and it is phenomenal.
That's awesome. And Nate, so you've really had a pickup recently, right? And you shared some of the story, but you really had a restart, right? Like you kick-started your business. What are some of the things you can share with some of the agents on how you did that and you know, some of the success that you've had since then?
Yeah, I took about, I'd say 2 years off. I hit my 20-year anniversary and had a lot going on personally, so I took some time off, and then when I was getting back into everything, and when we got together, I joined here in April and pretty much had no business. I had nothing in the pipeline, nothing at all. It was pretty much just started dialing for numbers and letting everybody know that, hey, I'm back. Can I pop by? Can I do a pop by and come see you guys? And a lot of people were like grateful to hear my voice and come on by, and I just started going around, and really I just started apologizing and saying, I'm sorry I lost touch, because that was never me, and I know it was more on my end, and I explained kind of my situation, just being honest, and it was like, well, cool, because my dad's thinking about selling and we were thinking about you, and then it was just one of those happened, and then it was like, I'm gonna do everything I can to shine for this, like I'm gonna go in like I was a brand new agent again and do whatever it is that I need to do. And then I just think by doing that, other people, the word of mouth started getting out in Ojai, like, oh, Nate's back, you know, and then it was just another one. And so, yeah, now I've got about 10 listings coming on the market, close to like 20 million worth. And it's just been hard work. I mean, it's not been easy. I wake up at 4 a.m. and I go to bed at 10:30, 11 every day.
Do you mind sharing just in terms of when you told me about the prayer that you had? You said your prayer and then the phone literally rang right after that?
Yeah.
Are you comfortable sharing that?
Yeah, that's what, yeah. I got a notification on my phone about one of my business accounts and stuff. So I go to Chase Bank and handle the situation with it. And I just was like down. Like I was just not really thinking like things were turning around. And I was already here for like a week or two, but I felt that I was putting in tons of effort.
Right.
And I just remember going out and I just like looked up and I prayed and I was like, God, I'm doing everything. Like, what more do you want me to do? Like, I'm truly trying to do everything I can to be the best. And I'm not feeling it. 10 minutes later, I get a phone call from a buyer who bought one of my listings 7 years ago with another agent from another brokerage. But we had hit it off, and I ended up doing a remodel on the house after they closed escrow. I never charged them a GC fee on it. I just did it at my cost, and here it is. Just if you ever think about selling, give me a holler. 15 minutes later, walking out of the bank, praying to God and having a couple of tears run to my eyes, not knowing exactly what was gonna happen, this phone call comes through. I ended up listing the house, doing what I had pride to do, and sold it $50,000 over asking price in an area where things weren't selling. And from there, it just kind of turned around. I mean, that's pretty much it. Is that one deal is what it took to catapult me to just work even harder. Be like, this is what you got to
Drive
do. Yeah, it kind of like what Tina was saying about like the other agent, like it just drives us to go and be the best we can be. And even though it's maybe be another agent, it's just more competition for yourself. So I think for me, it was like, you need to work harder. Now you need to work even harder. Now you need to up the game and go out there and do the staging and all of the stuff that you know to
But
do.
you can take it to the next level, and at the beginning, again, when you're starting out, it's hard to be able to afford to do that. But as you grow your business and you take some money and invest it, what we do for our clients, which I think is invaluable to a lot of people, is we'll pay up to $10,000 for them to paint their house, do the things they need to do. We put a note on it, and then they pay us back at the closing. And people are so grateful because sometimes they don't have the money. They need a $5,000 paint job, and if they don't have the money, we just say, we'll pay for it. And they just look at you like what? And I'm like, you're gonna pay us back, but we'll pay for it.
And none of us have spoken about, I do this and I've been doing this for 21 years, but when I get called to go on a listing appointment, I do a pre-listing package. I've already gone by the house, I've already taken a photo, I've already done all my research, I've already called my appraiser, I've already done everything that I need to do. And I'm so confident in what I'm gonna be presenting them that I will meet them and drop it off for them to review it after they get off work. And say, I'll be meeting you on Friday, take a look at this, it could be a Wednesday. If you have any questions, just go ahead and write them down when I arrive. And I've been doing that, and what it's done for me is really, it showed them up front, like, you're interviewing 3 people, how many other people have dropped off pre-listing packages?
Yeah, we do, we have a full listing book now, and in the listing book, we have an area for them to put their questions, and then we have a whole area for them, as we walk through the house, to tell them what they have to take out. They can actually write it, and it's already in the book for them. So, but that's invaluable, taking it ahead of time, because then they're like, wow.
Because that's where I think we had come back. When I was at Troop, and the year I was the #1 agent, my average commission closing was like 7.5%. Right? So I was getting all day long 3.5%, 4% on the listings, and that's primarily my business. But it was because of the preparation I was putting into it and knowing my competition in my marketplace, in my farm, what they're doing versus what I was doing, knowing what time they wake up, the time I wait. I used every single thing I could against my competition to pick them apart, knowing what they do, to the point that an agent that supposedly owned a farm, they were out in 6 months of that farm in Saddle Mountain, and I ended up having 19 listings in that area. But that was because of pretty much just doing everything that I needed to do in order to get in front of them. And really was just making sure that if I'm gonna give them information, I know what I'm talking about. Like all of us, like, there's no, well, I don't know the price. No, this is the price, this is how I came up to it, and this is where it's at. Then if you don't agree with that price, then let's do a 2-week escalation clause in the listing. So in 2 weeks, if we don't have an offer on this, it's automatically adjusting to this price that's on my addendum. Are you cool with that? And then you need to have that talk, because on that 14 day, if it hasn't got an offer, you've already got it in writing.
Right, that's true.
That's great. Any other
I have a
questions? Yes, Betty?
Tina, do you get a separate agreement for that money that you're fronting?
I do a note,
Yes.
A note?
Yeah.
You do? Awesome.
and we attach it to the property so that we're protected, and they know.
And one more thing, because our properties are sitting on the market a little bit longer, I see that we're getting some sellers that are pulling their listings. Are you putting a cancellation fee at all to recoup any of your expenses with those sellers if you let them out of their contract?
If a client cancels a listing before the listing time, we expect to be paid back for our expenses. Yeah, and we put that in our contract.
You do? Okay.
That doesn't happen to Tina, though. There's no cancellations.
Maybe someday.
She's all not selling a home, what?
Yeah. No, I mean, I think
That is
it's,
smart to do.
I think it's important that you get, like, one listing costs me, anywhere from $1,500 to $2,500. So I'm not gonna just write a check for somebody. it's one thing if the house doesn't sell, that's a whole different thing.
Right,
But
right.
if the client says, oh, I'm done after 2 weeks, I don't really want to do, yeah, okay, well, fine.
Yes.
Okay. Because it's not fair. I mean, if clients don't respect us, we respect our clients, right? We work hard for them, we do everything for them. But in turn, you have to set the tone so that they respect you as well, right? Like, you can't just like say, oh, okay, you can just cancel and I'm gonna eat that money. No. It's a business.
I just had that happen on one, pretty much the same thing, and I had told the client, like, we had a contract and this is where we're at. I don't wanna be extremely difficult, but I've also come out of pocket almost $1,800 in marketing and stuff and virtual tour and everything else. So if you wanna go ahead and pull it off, I'm okay with that, but you're cutting me a check before it's ever gonna be canceled or anything, or I'll just put it on hold or withdraw, and we can just figure that out. So he pretty much came back and said, well, I want to put it on hold or whatever you recommend so we can paint it and do all the upgrades that you spoke about. So I don't really want to cancel it. I just want to go move forward with all the upgrades that you had spoken about. But I was very clear that if you do decide, you're cutting me a check for that $1,800 because we have a 6-month contract, and all of a sudden you want to breach that contract in what, 30 days, 60 days?
Yeah.
Because things changed?
Yeah.
So one, that happened to me one time, and they wanted the photos. And I explained to them that they can't keep the photos because the photos don't belong to us.
Yep, appreciate you sharing that, good point. Any other final thoughts that you guys have? If you guys all wanted to share just
I have
one thing? Yes.
one last thing that I've always told Karen and Brooke and myself over and over and over is momentum creates momentum. So you gotta keep going. Like, just because you have 1 deal in escrow or 2 deals in escrow, it doesn't matter. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. Don't baby that deal so much that you don't have a pipeline now, because you can't. You've gotta keep marketing like you have nothing in escrow. And working and talking and going, because without momentum, you'll be back. And November, December are the best months to be busy. Because you bring it into the new year and everyone else is not working. So it's the best time to work. My family knows Christmas Eve, sometimes I'm not there because you gotta work. Like December's the month when agents typically take off, and that's your turn to go.
Biggest month.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we talked about, right? November, December.
The best month?
Yeah, this
Listen, the
past,
biggest month was in December.
Yeah.
last year, we did, I think it was 40 deals in November and December.
Wow.
Can I ask a
When you
question?
create
Do
a-
all of you door knock, and if so, how often in your farm if you have, not 8,000 homes, I'm sure you
No, I don't door knock 8,000.
don't. Yeah.
Yeah, we still door knock. We do it at least once a week, sometimes twice a week. We door knock, well, here's the other thing that's really important to do. I forgot to tell you guys this will be my one tip. When you get a listing, you door knock at least 50 homes in that neighborhood. When it sells, you door knock another 50, and then, or when it goes into escrow, you door knock another 50, and then when it closes, you door knock another 50.
The same 50 or different 50 each?
No, you just pick, like if there's 150 in the neighborhood,
Right.
you do 50, 50, 50.
Thank you.
And you door knock it, you don't mail it.
You drop on the fly on the ones that don't answer?
With the
Oh,
listings.
yeah, absolutely.
So I do the listings, like if I get a new listing, I'll go around the neighborhood and typically do that. Not in escrow, and then typically it's sold. But I mean, yeah, I still do it.
Any tip that you would have just in terms of, like you said, to create that momentum, right?
Yeah.
What is it, if somebody's trying to really kickstart their business right now, what tip would you have for them?
Open houses. Like if you don't have a listing, get out one of the agents that have a listing that you can,
Yeah.
that you can. We have plenty of listings. I would just get a listing and then know that farm, know that area, go walk it, get to know it. Even if you've never that's the biggest thing is knowledge is power. Get in there and know what you're dealing with, especially with the chat GPT now and stuff. Go to the open house and go in there with enthusiasm. Like, I'm going to sell this house today. I'm going to sell it. And just go in there with that confidence, standing up, opening the door. You're not slouched down. It's not, I go sign in right up there. Interact with them and do that. And the only reason why I say that is because coming back and not having that business, that's what I did. And 3 of my sales came from the open houses.
Right.
Well,
So-
and if you're doing somebody else's listing, if ask permission.
Yes.
Oh, people always ask, I tell them, go door knock 20 homes, go door knock 50 homes.
Right.
Take a flyer. They don't need to know now it's my listing, you're hosting the open house.
I mean, you've seen it with us, like, we've given videos, like unbranded videos. I've told our office, use the unbranded videos, share it on your own, like it's yours. My clients, they don't, more exposure. We don't, it doesn't bother us. So if I have a listing and they want to do it, go ahead.
Because when you get to the point where you're us, we're not concerned, and please don't take this wrong, but we're not concerned with the competition. You wanna go door knock 50 homes, go door knock. If you get a listing, I'm happy for you,
Yes.
right? So take advantage and ask agents who are busy agents, who have a lot of deals, because they're the ones like us who don't care. Whatever, go door knock it, go do whatever you need to do.
Right.
Because we want it sold, right? So we're thrilled if you're gonna go door knock 50 homes. Who knows, one of those houses that you door knock, their neighbor wanted, or their friend wants to move in your neighborhood, or whatever the situation will be. But, yeah, I mean, if you don't have a business, go
Create the business.
Create
You
it.
have to create it. You have
Yeah.
to talk. You have to be out there. I don't care. You're in Starbucks and you just got to smile. How you doing? Open it. You never know where a conversation can lead. That's all I was closed off at one period, but now I'm open. It's crazy. Like how it gravitates towards you when you have that and stuff. And the momentum will keep going. We call it snowball. Like once you keep that rolling, get that snowball going and get it bigger and bigger and just keep rolling. Because that's what's going to happen if you put in the work. It's going to happen.
No, that's perfect. Jen, what do you got for, you mentor a lot of agents and you give advice and they ask you for advice. So if they're trying to kickstart things, what would be your biggest tip for an agent right now, just trying to increase their business?
It's the same thing, it's just talking to people. When I first started, that's what I was doing at the kids' school, just kind of having conversations, striking up, just a conversation about anything. And then eventually it would lead to, oh, so what do you do? And then it just kind of started building that way.
Yeah, never start it with real estate.
No.
Start it just a conversation. It'll always go to real estate.
Or I'd wear around a name badge everywhere I went, when I had no clients. In the grocery store, everything, just so hoping somebody would strike up a conversation in the beginning, And eventually it just kind of started. But yeah, I think that hosting open houses, same thing that they said.
Right, but what's your mindset like when you know you gotta turn it on? Because I've heard you say it even recently where you're like, no, because you were down for your surgery, I got some makeup right now. Like, I'm not happy with where I'm at. So that's what I'm talking about. What's that mindset, that switch that you flip and then it's like, it's go time now?
For me, I sit and listen when I'm in a training, and I am paying attention to the training, so don't worry, it's not that I'm ignoring, but I use it as like, it's a session where my mind just starts going and things that Alma said during training, things that you said, it's like it triggers a memory of somebody in my mind, and I think, oh, I never followed up with that person, and I start writing just people down. Just anything I can think of while I'm listening, because it's triggering things. And then I'll make a list of who I should reach out to, and then I just start, whether it's a text or a phone call or some way, reach out to them and touch them.
So can you give me an example? You pick up the phone and you say what?
For me, it's more just like a phone call to say like, you've been on my mind a lot, because typically when somebody's on my mind a lot, there is a reason. I've noticed it so many times. I think we all feel that, like when somebody keeps coming back to mind, it's like, there's a reason. This is like the third time this week they've crossed my mind. It's like, just call them and reach out. And then you find out there's some need. So even if it's not real estate, there's something you can help them with. And then you're on top of their mind. And almost at this point, I don't door knock, Matthew. Okay. I should. It's something that I'm not proud of. So I'm not saying like, oh, I don't have to door knock. I definitely should be. It's uncomfortable for me, and I need to get past that. And I know I do, but I've been lucky enough that my business has developed into, it's almost like 95% referrals. And so it's just slowly getting bigger and bigger and snowballing, because of the more business I've done, the more I have coming back now. But yeah, just a phone call like that. Julie, just, call, say, how are you? Can you meet for coffee? Just something. Or how are the kids? Did you get that job? Just something.
We do anniversary cards. So, and we send a plant the first year that they close. We do a house anniversary card, and then we call and just say, how's it going? So many times, oh, my friend's like gonna sell, I'm gonna have them call you. You just.
I do that too, the anniversary cards every year for all my clients. And it's like, happy 8th anniversary. And now with some of them, it's been multiple sales. So it's fun, it helps you
And
keep
they,
track.
and they appreciate it, you know, like, people appreciate when you take an interest in them, right? That's why, like what I said, when you go on a listing appointment, don't start with what you do, start with what, you know, ask them about themselves, because it makes you seem like somebody, and you should, because you shouldn't be doing this if you don't, but somebody who cares and somebody who's interested. And then in that, you learn so much about them, right? Because I want to know who's the decision maker. I want to know, are they really going to sell, or are they just tossing this around, right? And those things you find out by just saying, tell me your story. And that's how I say it, just like that. When we sit down, I'm like, before I do anything, will you tell me your story? And they're like, oh, yes, of course. They get all excited because they get to tell you their story.
I love that.
Yeah.
Debbie, I saw you nodding when she was talking about the names coming to mind.
Well, because I always have things in my car, so there's always something, and I'm always giving Brooke something, whatever the season is, because we're driving, right? So if I'm showing a house in a neighborhood, I force myself, because I have a client in that neighborhood, I'm dropping something off. So just keep things in your car. They're little things. Trader Joe's always has little flowers or plants, and you're just, people are lonely, actually. You'd be surprised. I don't door knock because I have the greatest door knocker in my neighborhood. I have Judy Lewicki, and she's always door knocking. So I don't door knock my neighborhood. I'm scared to death of it. But when they're already warm clients, I'm always going by their houses and giving them little things. And people want you to come in. They want you to stay 2 hours. I want to stay 5 minutes. But it's crazy how people are really gracious and they want you to. And my biggest thing is my love language is cooking, which people kind of already know this already. And I cook for an army, and I just have 2 of us at the house now because I'm an empty nester. So whenever I cook, I always have containers, and I'm always bringing it to people. And people get to know me by that too. They know that Deb's always bringing a meal by, because that's my love language. That's what I love to do. So you gotta find what works for you and what your love language is, and it's easy. But you can't try to do something that I do if it's something that Tina does, that, like door knocking, I'm petrified of it. Talking in front of all you guys, and I don't like it. Sweating over here. Because that's just not who I am, but it's fun when it's what you do and what you love.
Well, and once you get past the fear, like the best story I ever told was Libby, my daughter-in-law, who's now my partner. I made her go door knock the first time, and she's like, I want to do this. And I'm like, it's going to be fine. Just, you go on that side, I'll go on this side. And so the very first house we go to, she's on her side watching me. I knock on the door, and I said, hi, I'm Tina. Just want to talk to you a little bit about real estate, if this is a good time. And they go, no, it's not. And they almost hit me in the face as they slammed the door. And Libby's standing there like this. And I'm like, your turn. And she's like, no. And I'm like, go. And she did. And she didn't get the door slammed in her face. But once you get a few of those done, you're fine. You're like, now I can, like, I don't care.
And everyone in my neighborhood knows Judy Lewicki and Demi Fox door knock. I mean, they're every other day. I mean, literally.
I don't know if it's Judy anymore, though.
It's Tara and Justin.
Yeah.
But you know that they're in the neighborhood door knocking. I mean, it's just an assumptive.
And
Worth County lives in my neighborhood. And literally, you see Demi's car, you'll see Justin's car, you'll see, they door knock. Literally, it's like Demi's day, Tara's day. I mean, they door knock every other day.
Well, the funny story behind that is when Judy kind of wanted to back out, and Tara and wanted to like start taking over, and she's like, she called me and they came over to my office, and I'm like, go door knock. And she's like, I don't know. And I'm like, your mom did it, go do it. And then I'm like,
They do it every week.
Then she called me and she's like, it's been 3 months, it's not working. Keep door knocking. And now we go look at, I just was looking at, and I was like,
They're doing really well.
okay, well, she's,
And they're avid door knockers.
yeah, they are.
It works.
It does work, but you have to be in the mindset to do it, right? Like if you're I'm not saying you're
Well,
afraid. 'cause you're
I'll
not
go with
afraid
you.
of
Come with
anything.
me, because I'm
Yeah.
not scared of it.
No, but like, but you know what I mean? If you're not comfortable, that's gonna come out. So if that's not something you're comfortable with, then go volunteer at the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah.
Go volunteer at a school. Go volunteer for something. Because then you're out, guys, you can't, I'll tell you the best advice ever. Don't sit at your desk and wait for a phone to ring, because it's never going to happen. Ever, ever, ever. You have to go out and make it happen.
You have to have conversations.
You have to have conversations, and you have to be willing to put yourself out there, and you have to be willing to work harder than the next person. Because if you don't do any of that, go find another job. I know that sounds mean, and I'm not trying to be, but go find another job, because you're never gonna be successful in real estate. If you don't have that fire in your belly, like, right, don't you all have that?
Yeah.
It's that fire in your belly that you wanna do this. And I look at it from the standpoint, because now I look at it from a legacy standpoint. I look at it like, okay, I've done really well, I wanna give back, what can I do? Like, the Little League needed a scoreboard, so we brought up Randy, they wanted us to help them fundraise. I go, no, Brad Chad gave us a scoreboard, right? That's fun now, and George taught me that. George taught me that. What legacy are you gonna leave, right?
So what legacy are you gonna leave?
I'm at the stage of my life now where I just want to teach. I want to teach people. I want to teach them how to be good realtors, because we need good realtors. There's a lot of really bad realtors out there.
But they're getting shifted out. And the good ones will stay. Because this is now our fifth market.
Yeah,
Or
no,
my
it's
fifth
true,
market.
but I'm saying like the young ones that are coming in, let's teach them how to be good realtors from the beginning. Let's teach them how to work hard, how to have ethics, trust me when I tell you that if you work hard and you tell the truth and you have ethics, you will be successful.
And say you're sorry.
Absolutely be,
And say you're sorry.
yes, you will absolutely be successful because you just can't fail. If you do those things, those simple things, and be grateful. I'm telling you, even to this day, when we get a new listing, I'm like, thank you, Lord, I'm grateful. Right? Because I'm grateful for another listing. And that's the difference. It's like, you have to have the right attitude, and you have to, like, I love what I do with a passion. And I could retire, and my husband's very upset that I don't, but I don't want to retire. I want to be that 7-year-old that's out there still selling real estate.
Pulling up on the
Kicking
curb.
Forgetting someone's name because you're too old to remember the name more
You
than 10
gotta
minutes.
hover around on the back of
Yeah.
your Lexus.
Yeah.
You roll off.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that if you truly love what you do, people see it and they feel it, and like, it's just, they're attracted to it, don't you think? I mean, when you have that passion about it and you're out there and you just really love what you do, people just gravitate because they.
Yeah. I have events too, and I always have them in my house. Because if
That's what we do too.
Yeah, so I have one coming up that's called Hand It Over, not Hand Me Down. So it's actually another agent that actually told me. So if anyone wants to do it, let me know, because she passes on her clothes from her event to me, and then after my event, and people love it. Women come in and they're half naked, all running around my house trying on clothes. Give me that one, I want this one. It's amazing. And then after, then I donate it to like young women of business. But if anyone wants it, you can have them. And it's piles of clothes. People come, they leave with bags of clothes. And people love it. I can't even tell you. I probably have, well, she has 100 people coming next week. And then I get the leftovers from her. And then I have everyone that comes, they just drop off clothes at my doorstep the week prior, then I hang them up, and then it's a huge event, and you can't imagine how many people love it. It's so fun.
And do parties, client appreciation parties.
Oh, yeah.
Even
But
though
I do small.
yeah.
Like I'm more of a 50 person, but I do
That's what we
more
do.
of them. But they're always at my house. People come over, Taco Tuesday. It's fun because people, they love them. Like if I don't have one consistently, they're calling me. Did I miss the taco party? I'm like, no, I'm putting it on the calendar right now. So people get to like it, and it doesn't matter the size of your house. It doesn't matter. People love to be
An
with
invitation.
you, and they love to be invited. Because I'm telling you, it comes down to the core. People are lonely. It's literally, truly, in my 21 years, that's what I've realized, is everyone wants a friend, and believe it or not, you become their friend. I become their friend, their family. I'm invited to Christmases and birthdays and anniversaries, because you'd be shocked how many people need that in their life.
Yeah, and I agree with you when you do it small, because first couple events we did, we had like 200 people, and I didn't even get to talk to half the people, so I don't do them that big anymore. We do like 50. And you can talk to everybody, and then you just keep rotating, you just keep rotating them. And it's so much better than doing like a huge event, because we did that in the beginning and I was like, this is not worth it. Because half these people I didn't even get to see.
Well, you're not talking to them, so people do movie events, and to me, I don't feel that's successful, for me, because you don't talk to them. They're just
No.
going into watching a
Give them
movie, so,
popcorn and then
yeah, like I want them in my house, sitting on the couch, their kids jumping over everything, like, I want them to be comfortable, and so that's, to me, just smaller, better, more intimate.
No, that's great.
And then-
Patrick, thank you for coming. I mean, we're calling you out, but so Patrick, if you don't know Patrick Passati, great agent. We did a panel together last year, that's where we met each other. But any questions that you have, Pat's a great producer, definitely up and coming in this area. Do you have any questions for any of the four up here?
No, man, just enjoyed everything I heard and a lot of respect for all of you. I've never met Tina or Debbie before, but friends of these two and wanted to come support you guys and glad to be here with y'all.
Yeah, thank you for being here. Any other questions? All other great agents in here as well? You guys good?
It was awesome.
Well, guys, thank you all.